and I've invited two guests on. One lady's called Millie, and the other one's called, well, she's not. She's got a name, but she wants to be unknown. And the topic today, we're actually going to be discussing about the Harry and Meghan and the effects and the views I've actually been going through with a lot of friends and families and TV. The scenario is just blown out of proportion, and it's amazing because you've actually start seeing how some of the presenters are coming out. And yes, we're going to actually start off with Harry and Meghan today because, like I said, I've brought on two guests, and the live studio line number is 079 444 31366, 079 444 31366. As we know, the topic is today about Harry and Meghan and the interview that she had, they did with Oprah Winfrey. And it was a very serious discussion they had with Oprah, keeping in mind, I think Oprah's a very professional in her way. And I do know Meghan's an actress, and people are saying, oh, but she knew what she was saying and she knew what she was doing. It was all an act. Oh, okay, fine. Let's just put that to one side. But keeping in mind that she is part of the royal family, whether anyone likes it or not. She has married the prince. Whether he has the title or not, that's irrelevant, but he is still Diana's daughter and he's still William's brother. And what the jaw-breaking aspect of the actual interview I found was when she actually said it quite clearly when they were discussing the child's colour. And above all, she goes, I didn't want to be alive anymore. Now, from a woman's point of view, and I've brought two sisters on today, one's Millie and the other sister wants to be unknown. Millie, I mean, I just mentioned just 2 points really, but really, it's quite clear she's depressed. It's quite clear, isn't it? She's got mental health issues there, and it's quite clear she's not getting the help within the family, forget about the outside. And she's been traumatised, and she's actually come out and speaking against it. This is the big institute she's talking against. They are established people here. What did you make of it, Millie?
Well, what I actually made of it was when I actually watched the interview, and the thing is that first of all, she was suffering from mental health issues. I think when she was pregnant, because you need to understand, being in public eye consistently, your change of lifestyle and everything completely changes. So that actually does have a detrimental effect on your mental health itself. And then you have the institution which she was talking about. And then it's changing your ways and following the institution and following their rules and regulations and how you need to be and how you need to dress and how you need to put yourself forward. So yeah, I mean, it is a big turnover with what actually went through and how she felt, and with what she was saying, it's quite shocking. It's very shocking because the royal family are in the public eye, and they have alliances with a lot of international ethnic countries around the world. So it's very shocking to actually hear that, and something very unexpected, to be honest with you.
Okay, that's quite. Okay, that's your view. That's quite interesting. What do you think, guest number 2?
Yeah, well, I think I have to agree with Millie that I think it was just very, very shocking to hear. That given today's day and age, and especially with a very high-profile case, that would be something up for debate, especially in the royal family. I think that was very, very shocking, and I think you could see that.
So what is shocking? What is it shocking to both of you? I mean, because I heard the word shocking now.
Yeah.
So what is this shocking, that the fact that she's come out and she's a brave girl and she said it as it is? Because don't forget, she's not British, she's American, right? So she's she's back home now, thinking that I can say what I like on my soil. But why is it so shocking for the public in the UK? Because look, okay, we're not saying the royal family is racist. Okay, well, let's put this to one side because they're not spelled it out. But we cannot ignore she's actually dripping, or should I say, and giving us little sense and saying, you know what, there's something going on here. But she's not saying it. But come on, are you telling me that it's shocking? I don't think it's shocking. I think we're just alarmed. I don't think we're alarmed to the point where we say, oh my God, this is something that should never happen here. Look, racism is out there, and let's be honest here, racism, and because she's not the blood that they want her to be, or she's not fitting in because of her skin and her colour, because otherwise the skin of the child's baby would not be discussed. Look, as a mother, I wouldn't care if my child was turned out to be multicoloured or black or white, whatever, but as long as he's healthy, right? So I'm trying to figure out here, like, obviously your views too have got a view where it's quite shocking. I didn't find it shocking. The only thing I found it quite upsetting, to be honest with you, and I felt so sorry as a woman to a woman. You could tell she's depressed. And what she's been through, and I'm thinking, for God's sake, how the hell did she? I know she's not ready for the role. I do agree with certain parts there as well. The royal family, probably she was thinking, I'm going to walk in there and that's it. It's all, all hunky dory and princess, this dressing up and enjoying. It probably wasn't that. But don't forget, we also saw what Diana went through as well, right? So why are you shocked that she's made these well, they are sort of allegations, aren't they, really? Because even though she's not saying that my son, she mentioned something around security. Remember, she goes, we're not going to get no security, and they said that we're not going to get no, obviously they're not going to pay them or anything like that. Okay, that's fine. And then she goes on about saying that, what's going to happen, and I'm quite scared of my child, and we're getting death threats and everything. And then she's saying, but the Queen's not racist. She goes, she's a lovely woman. So, but then one of the interviews that actually came on, I don't know if you remember Andrew Martin. Do you remember Andy Martin, who did the biography? He was just biography for the royal family, and then he came on and he goes, if she's saying the Queen is fine and she's not done anything wrong, but the Metropolitan Police decide the security, the Queen is the front line of all honour. So indirectly, he goes, whether by default, she's actually saying the Queen's racist, basically, and that's where I think I'll talk about Piers Morgan later, but that's how it's all explained.
You can't say it directly.
Exactly. So
because
indirectly,
he has to protect the Queen, as well, at the same time.
Yeah. So indirectly, she is. Look, it's quite clear she's not happy. She's not happy, and she's getting the blame also that she's holding on to Harry, and she's making the moves, and she's saying that she's controlling. I also see that, okay, fine, but then are all couples like that? There's always someone that's more in control and the other one's not in control.
I don't think it's more about being in control. I think it's more about them two having that connection, and
I think they're a good team, really.
And they work together, and some people use that perception as being controlling, which I think is really wrong, because there's no such thing as, because she's come out and she's saying all this stuff and she's controlling Harry. Well, no, but you need to understand, Harry was born in that environment.
Absolutely.
He was born in that environment. Meghan wasn't. So yes, Meghan is going to be, she's probably have more guts, basically, to actually come out and say that. And the same with Diana. She wasn't born in that institution. And the thing is that, Meghan probably sees a lot more things differently than Harry, because she was born in that institution. And the thing is with Harry, like with him growing up, I don't know if you've seen, he was always different,
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Doing things that you're not supposed to do. But that was him. That was that's how he's always been. And then people say, Meghan's controlling him, and no, it's not. They have a really good connection, and they actually work with each other really well, and they understand each other.
And I don't see what's wrong if a man wants to protect his wife and kids. I don't understand why is that thing so. Why is so much negativity? But yes, okay, it's the royal family. We understand that too. But still, wouldn't it would be nice to give credit to him for that? Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's a very caring husband, and given the chance for Meghan to speak out, really.
I think, Harry deserves a credit here. I think the way he's protected his family and especially his wife, you know, I don't think you know, anyone, and especially with somebody with such a high profile, you know, would have the guts to do that.
Mm. You know, when she mentioned the point that Archie was is being spoken before he was even born, and they're worried about what color he is, and that's the reason why she said he's gonna obviously not be the prince because of that reason. Maybe not in the same words, but obviously you could pick up, can't you, what she's trying to say. So, what do you make of that? How do you feel?
Well, I just think that, you know, first of all, being, you know, you need to put yourself in Megan's shoes, yeah, right? You're pregnant, your first child. You've got into a family, not a family, an institution that you have to actually follow strict rules and regulations. You're in the public eye, and then you're told this, you know? And, you know, for her, it must have been, yeah, she did know who she was marrying. She did know, obviously, they're the royal family, and, you know, there probably are some, you know, regulations and rules that I do have to comply. But the thing is that even if she did know that, I mean, you know, it's actually disgusting that she.
Yeah, you never know how someone. There's a saying, isn't there, Millie? You never know the real person until you go and live with them. So she could see the picture from the outside, but like you said, now that she had to go and live with them, and because I think someone said that she walked into the Queen's room or just walked past something, and she was supposed to bow, and I think she didn't understand why you have to do that if she's your mother or grandmother. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I heard of that as well.
Yeah, I heard of that.
Yeah, and yeah, she was quite stunned. I think it was a phone call that Harry did to the Queen, and it was he was due to meet her, and you know, he called her up, and you know, the whole thing got delayed, and you know, when Meghan turned around to Harry and said, you know, surely she's your grandmother, and he said, no, you know, that there are protocols that I have to follow too. She's a queen.
Yeah, so that's it. You're sorry, Millie. Yeah.
Like if you like, you know, when you watch the interview, like where Oprah asked Harry about you know, the skin color, and he actually said, he didn't actually say at that time what it was about, but he said that there were comments that were made, and Oprah asked him, what, you know, what was it? He didn't say, but then Meghan said it. Meghan then brought out the skin color comment that was made by the institution. You know, so it's just, it's disgusting, and you know, we're in 21st century now. Racism should not even be here.
You see, even though you're saying that's racism, obviously anyone hears that, we're going to say, why would you say that, knowing the fact that mother's mixed race? Now, the TV, this is how the TV, they're not, especially, let's talk about Piers Morgan here, the guy that I want to talk about. He was on Good Morning, Piers Morgan, as usual, doing his thing. Right? I don't know what to say about this guy. Right, obviously, there was a session on there. Alex actually spoke up and said something, and you could hear they were crossing each other with questions, and they were not agreeing, and then Alex just said, okay, do you know what? I know you don't like her. I know it's quite clear you don't like this lady. I know for some reason you had a relationship. And he goes, no, I just knew her. I didn't have a relationship. So he was getting quite deep now. And he's saying, yeah, okay, she cut you off. She doesn't want to know you now. And that's the way she is. He goes, but she's like that. She cuts everyone off. Look what she's done to her family. This is what Piers is saying. And he goes, look, it doesn't matter. Things happen. You move on. And he just got up and walked off. And he's like, come on, you shouldn't be like this. You know, you can't just walk off. We sit here all day, 6:30 to 7:30, every morning, listening to you, but you could not listen to the bit that I just said about Meghan, right? And he actually walked off, and obviously he's not working there no more, and so there's a place offer there. Anyone wants to go and apply for that vacancy, they should, you know, go for it, girl. I might give you a job there. So what do you think of that, Unknown?
Well, I think it was quite blatant the way
You want it? Yeah.
I think he just kind of answered all of the questions in that moment.
Yeah.
I think the attitude kind of showed a lot. I mean, personally, it's not professional on any level.
Mm.
You can give criticism, but you can't take it. That's that. If that's how you are, then you shouldn't have been in that position. The
But
first.
have you not noticed? And I've noticed this obviously after this comment what Alex made with Piers, is that he literally does bash Megan a lot.
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, you know what? I'd never ever thought in my life that there was a relationship or some sort of a connection with them two, but now it's become personal, hasn't it? It's like he's every documentary or every news, but he's really
The guy
bashing
can't
her.
handle rejection. He cannot
Exactly.
handle rejection.
Yeah, that's it.
Exactly, that's fine, but he really. But now we know why he does this to her.
100%. I think. I mean, I think it's quite clear now that it has got underlying personal issue with her.
Mm.
And that he kind of leverages his arguments on.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I think any sane person with basic ethics, I mean, to me, the whole Megan interview, I think you know what, you got to give it to her. She had balls to come up, and tell the world as to what happened behind closed doors. Not everyone's done it, and I think we've got a big, like you mentioned earlier, we've got a big example, Diana, and she's basically come out the closet and said, listen, we're in the 21st century, and look at one of the debates we're in the royal family, speaking about the race of the unborn child. That's what and
I will say something though. I will say that I was very scared when she came on, and I do fear for her life, and I wish to God nothing happens to her.
100%.
I do think at one point, and I'm going to be honest here, even though I've heard her interview and seen it countless times, and obviously the after effects of it, I do wish she stayed quiet. Honest to God, I shouldn't say this, only because I do fear for her now, and I am constantly thinking, may God protect her. We don't want to see another incident, right? Sorry.
Millie. What the institution wants, though, for you to stay quiet.
That's basically what
I understand that. Yeah, I understand that.
You know what? I think I'm sure she knew of the risks before she came onto the interview, and I think personally she's probably won a lot of hearts by being that.
Oh yeah, America's definitely.
She won a lot of hearts because she was that brave to say, listen. I was mistreated, because she was mistreated. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
She wasn't looked at as somebody part of the family. She wasn't she wasn't treated in the right ways. Clearly Harry saw wrong, and you got to give it to Harry. He stood up for his wife. He stood up for his family.
Yeah, respect for him, honestly. A lot.
I've got big respect for the guy. And he's gone now, and he's taken his wife, and he's basically done this big controversial move, and and he's doing what he can as a husband and as a father.
Yeah, he's given up a lot. He's given up his royalty, mate.
The guy's basically the guy's out of love and respect for his wife, he's given up his status. I mean, what more can
but he did mention the fact that I don't want this history being repeated again. I know what my mum went through, and that kid, you could just you could sense it with him that he's still
100%. You see in his eyes the way he communicates, and there's so and I think with him, like the way he behaves, I think, and the way he speaks, you can see his eyes, like he's seen a lot of history. He's seen a lot of obviously.
He's not forgetting.
Do you know what I mean? He doesn't really speak about it because obviously it's still his family, and he still wants to protect them, and you see that. I think in the interview he was quite hesitant in a few points where he didn't want to say anything controversial. He didn't want to, and you got to respect the guy. I mean,
absolutely.
The guy is just he's basically shown all of the men out there how what a real man should be like.
Absolutely. Having said that,
I think he's shown a lot of you have to protect. You have to protect when needed.
Yeah. Okay. Having said that, okay. You've seen the interview, and I really want you to discuss it obviously yourself, and I hope the viewers are listening. The studio line number is 079 444 31366. if you're tuning in to Bless Radio 1 Unityify platform, the number to call in is 079 444 313 666 if you want to be part of the debate today. And the topic is about Harry and Meghan. Now, ladies, this got to me, okay?
Yeah.
When she said, I wanted to not be alive anymore. And then I told my partner about it because I know I didn't want to be left alone because I was suicidal. That's a breaking point. As women, we know, especially when you've had kids and you go through depression and all the rest of it, and you come out of it, it's quite dangerous, that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think to me personally, and the things that kind of I've been personally and heard about, I think she took a lot. I think this woman has endured a lot. It's a different thing that obviously she can't fully, completely be open about everything or all aspects of her life, but I think she did. I think she didn't anticipate being in the public eye the way she was being criticized day in day out, the way she was being criticized. I think she didn't quite understand the nature of what she was getting herself into, and I think of course, I mean, even if it was me, you, or any other woman, as women, we're naturally quite fragile anyway. Having said that, you're being thrown onto this platform, and now suddenly you've got the whole nation having an eye on you. She's gone through a lot. I mean, you got to give it to her. To me, it's very understandable that she would feel that way.
Yeah, because one of the people that came on to again Piers Morgan's on his show, and there was a lady called Trisha Goddard, and now he was arguing with her back and forward, saying to her, "Listen, do you know what? It's just curiosity that they want to know about the colour. It's like me asking my grandchild, oh, if what colour your kid's gonna come out from, and blah blah blah." He goes, "It could be curiosity. Yeah, it could be curiosity in a known family like you and me, but I don't really think so. It's going to be really a curiosity when we're talking in a family that's well established and they're in the public eye. I think it's a different ball game there." Now, she turned around and said to him, and I love her for saying this. She goes to him, right? She goes, "Curiosity, really?" She looked at him and she goes to me, "Oh, it's like someone just comes up to me and puts their hand through my hair and say it's curiosity, and they look at my feet and make a comment on my hands, and then they talk about my nose." And she goes to Piers, "Really, Piers, is that curiosity? Really, really?" And he just looked at her face like that, what is she saying? He goes, "Listen," she goes, "why is it all of a sudden everyone out there have become an expert on racism?" And she goes, "You know what, I'll leave you to call out on whatever you want to." She goes, "But don't call out on racism, because leave that to the black people to deal with."
100%.
She goes, yeah. She goes, sorry, go on, Milli.
And do you know also as well, is what I don't understand, if they were obviously, they would have assumed that they were going to have children in the future, Harry and Meghan, and then why let Harry get married to her? Do you understand? It's like, why would you? Okay, if you're worried about the skin tone, so first of all, why are you letting him get married to her then?
I think, do you know what? I think during that time, I mean, let's be honest here, the royal family wasn't very happy or very keen on Harry, marrying Meghan in the first place. But you see, the thing is, okay, right, he's married her now. Yeah, you've given approval, whether you're happy with it or not, you've done it now. I think this whole debate about the skin tone is absolutely ridiculous. Let's just be honest here. It's absolutely, it's racist. It's degrading. It's ridiculous. It should not even be. It should not even be something to be spoken about. Like, he's married her now. She's his wife.
No, but you got to understand the point here. You know what? They're saying she sort of indicated that Archie cannot be a prince based on skin color. God forbid. Just saying, God forbid, hope nothing happens to William and Kate, because they're still Diana's babies. I see them as their kids. Yeah, we want them to live a long life, healthy life. God forbid something happened, everyone got swiped off, and it's only Archie left. What are we going to do then? Archie's going to be the king.
Well, yeah. God forbid, in that scenario, yes, he would be. And I think,
I mean, what you're talking about, if William's kids
No, God forbid something happened, right? Only Archie was left, right? And they had no choice but to bring Archie to be the prince of the king. And obviously they don't want, so what are they going to do? They're going to
No,
say, no, we can't.
I'll tell you what they'll do. They'll bring Prince Philip alive.
They're dead.
Yeah, they'll probably freeze him.
I could actually imagine that happening. The amount of controversy, right now, that I would not be surprised.
Dead is him.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I understand. But I mean, to be honest with you, look, it's 2021, and racism should be finished by now. We should not be trying to insinuate things at this moment in time, because, internationally, globally, people, we've been fighting for our rights in every way. Not just not just being accepted, as a human, but also accepted as as your own person as well. Whether it's to be in the workplace, or whether it's to be walking down the street, or whether it is even in schools as well. Children get affected. So and the thing is, and and also the funny thing is that Megan, she's mixed race. So
Yeah. I think her dad doesn't make anything easy either, does he?
This is the thing. It's like, come on, like she's not even fully black. She's mixed race, right?
And that they can't handle, yeah.
And even that, they're being funny about it. And the thing is that obviously they need to protect themselves, because they have alliances with South Africa and all these eastern countries. Not just.
It's funny you said that. I heard you said it in the beginning. We said they got alliances. Really, what do you mean by alliances? Are they really like friends?
Yeah, they are. They have what do they call it? They have party agreements, don't they, within like United Nations and all that. So they're all into it together. So
yeah. They're not really friends, are they? They're not really. I know they've got an agreement set that they're going to be, a part of that country.
The Queen and Nelson Mandela were really, really good friends. Yes, I can say that they were good friends, but on what terms were they good friends? Maybe it was a beneficiary term that they were good friends, and maybe that's how the Queen actually put it through. But the thing is that the way that I look at it is that racism should not be here. It should have been kicked out a long time ago. And and
that's why she's getting praised. That's why she's getting praised in America, especially, and she's got a hell of a lot of support there because of that reason. Because I think not just her, a lot of people came out, all talk shows everywhere. She's everywhere after that conversation. Chaka Khan came out, celebrities come out. You've got the tennis player coming out. You've got everyone coming out saying, it's about time she spoke up, and good she spoke up, because we face it every day in and out. Chaka Khan said 30 years she was in UK, and she faced it day in, day out.
Wow.
That says a lot, doesn't it?
It's crazy how real it is. I think Megan just sparked the whole the whole realness behind it, because I think it's easy when we sit behind our laptops and computers and phones and whatever, but those people that there's a big majority of people who actually face it on a daily basis. And I think she just made it real. She came out and she said, listen, this is one of the things that happened to me. And she's within her rights. She's to me, she's done absolutely nothing wrong. She just stated facts, and she had, Harry backing her up, and and
I just love them two together, the way they are together. It's really nice.
Can I just say one, right? This really gets me every time. Yeah, is that if a celebrity or someone in the public eye, if they mention anything that's a taboo subject like racism, like that, why is it that they always get the attention, and the people that suffer it day in and day out, every day of their lives, why is they have to suffer? And they
unfortunately that is the case. But having said that, when a celebrity does speak out, you see the grassroots and people that are going through it day in, day out. they spark them up, don't they? Everyone's going crazy now. So people are coming out. So by them doing it, it actually gives the people some backbone.
I think it's because
I
of
think
that influence.
And it gives them some strength,
Yeah.
Yeah, the influence they have on their people, and they obviously kind of give them the positive kind of, you know, flag to say, listen, you know, I can talk about it. Why can you not talk about it?
No, not just that. I'm going through it, even though I'm a celeb. I'm going through it, so you're not alone. And people turn around, and that's why the channels were all so busy. I mean, it went on for a whole week, and it's still not stopping. It's still not stopping. They're still talking about it because the next day they were waiting for the Queen to give a reply, wasn't she? Yeah, and she made a very, very small, very diplomatic, very thought out reply that we will deal with this. We had no idea, and we're very sorry. We'll find out who did this, and we'll talk amongst the family. So basically, it's a closed chapter, isn't it? Really.
And I think
that is a closed chapter. Actually, that is a very closed chapter. But you know what chapter that hasn't been closed?
Andrew.
Yeah.
They're not even opening it or closing it.
That's not even open. It hasn't even started, and I'm just thinking, okay.
That says a lot in its own, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Sorry, the uncaller was the mystery guest. What were you saying?
Yeah, no, you know what, there's a few things coming to me, because I'm just not just only thinking about the whole racial part of things. I'm just thinking about the whole way Meghan was not only just portrayed in the media, but the fact that the way she was treated. Like, we had the Daily Mail getting hold of the letters, and they were trying to portray her as a villain. And you know, and I remember, you know, reading this article where, you know, she sued them because they had gotten hold of her confidential letters to her father, and exposed her like that on you know, on the public platform, and Piers was all on it, all over it, you know, shoving it in everyone's faces. And look, see, look, you know, that's her. She's a rebel. And I'm just.
I think she's put a claim on Piers as well, if I'm not wrong.
She's sorry. She's what?
She's doing that to Piers Morgan as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, has she?
Oh, I don't know about that.
I think she has. She's actually put something in there, and some legal.
Yeah, but she might.
Yeah.
I can imagine her doing it.
He was.
Do you know what?
Sorry, Milli.
No, I'm saying with yeah. Do you know the Good Morning Show?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she is actually suing him for that.
Yeah, I knew it. See, I heard that somewhere. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, but then you see, this is what I'm saying. The way she was treated was the worst of the worst. I mean, let's be honest. I don't think anybody's been criticized like that in recent times. The way she was, you know, quite basically dragged through the mud, the way she was. You know, this is what I'm saying. That, you know what, I'm glad. You know what, I'm glad for them too. I'm glad they're gone. I'm happy for them. You know, they took the right steps. You know, I mean, let's put ourselves as a woman, from a woman's perspective. You know, you're now not just a wife. You're royalty. You know, you're pregnant. You know, you have a child, and you have this constant, like, basically this constant criticism, being bullied. And, you know, I can totally understand where she came from when she said I was suicidal.
Because one of the guests mentioned the fact that when they were talking about Meghan's wedding, they said it's something about ghetto wedding, and they made remarks like that, and they said, and she goes, from a black woman's perspective, that is like saying, you know, ghetto is like, you know, you're undermined already, and I said the poor woman had to endure that kind of criticism on her.
And this is basically what I'm saying. Like, you know what? I just respect the woman immensely, because I think, you know what? She's not only dealt with it, but the fact that she can come out and she's strong enough to not only just deal with it, but then to, you know, speak about it and say, listen, actually, I am going to put myself at risk. But you know what? I'm going to stand up. I'm going to say, this is wrong. It should not be happening. And I think, you know, it's
not easy, you know, what she's done.
It's not easy. And do you know what? Like you said earlier, do you know what? Even I worry for them too, because do you know what? yes, they've done, they've kind of brought the world's attention to the, things like racism, bullying, no doubt about that. And the way they was treated, and then you've got Katie and William, which is obviously, they're they're doing their own
Protective.
yeah, and they're protected, and they're diplomatic, and they're doing their own thing, and and it's just sad to also see, because I think you can see quite clearly that even the bond of the brothers are suffering, because they're not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're not really apparently they're not really in touch, and they're not really speaking. I think it's sad, because as an older brother, no matter what, my sibling, what decision or what action they do, as long as they're not crossing,
You want to keep them together.
Yeah, like I would still want to be there emotionally and say, like, bro, take it easy. Like, I understand, but the thing is, you can quite clearly see these two, especially. I don't think they had any support network, and I think this is what pushed them to move and say, do you know what, we're gonna go away from it, because I think if you have that emotional support,
I think she made it quite clear. I think she was more scared about having no security, having no one there for her, and so that's why I think she's made the move to leave and go and stay in America. I'm not saying that she's more secure there, but it's her hometown, isn't it? Really, it's where she's from, and she probably feels more happy there. Fine, that's not a problem.
Also, let's not forget, they're not getting the media coverage anymore. The way they was. I think I'm sure there must have been a lot of other factors as well. Apart from obviously security, which is obviously a big thing in itself.
Yeah, Harry's never liked the media.
The media, yeah.
He's always... Sorry, Milli?
He didn't want the media because he's seen his mum suffer. And the thing is that the paparazzi and all that, they like to make misconception on every single story that they have or they see. And when you're talking about the security, they weren't even given any financial
support,
or support for the security, so they had to get that themselves. And obviously by doing that, with the estate that his mum left him,
I was just going to mention that. I'm glad you mentioned that.
The income is coming from there, and as Harry said, it's like as though my mum knew that this would happen.
Yes.
And and also, if you remember on the interview, he said that his brother and his father is stuck in the system.
Yeah, and I respect them, because I also respect them for staying there. Yeah.
William is the eldest, so he has a lot of pressure on him, a lot.
Yeah.
And he will be in the public eye because he may be next in king.
Absolutely.
So there's other ways that you can actually look at it. You can't just say, he should do this and he should do that. But, you need to understand it on a different perspective behind closed doors and actually say to yourself, do you know what? Maybe William is being pressured and we do not know. Maybe there's other things that we do not know. Yeah, they are. And you can tell that their relationship has actually broken down. It broke down the day that he got married with Meghan. And the reason for being that is because of the institution, because the institution is run by the Queen. Herself. Yeah. The Queen is the one that gives the orders, right?
Yeah. That's what the gentleman Andrew Morton said. He goes, by default, they're actually saying that the allegations are directly to the Queen. And he goes, even though they're not saying it, but he goes, that's very explosive information, because they're saying, oh no, everything's fine. But, the Queen's lovely, but the Queen is the one that, says that has the last say.
But what you need to understand is they can't say the Queen. Do you know why? Because it will have a detriment.
I know.
On the country itself, because we will lose so much money as an economy because of the alliances that they have with all different countries. You need to understand, because we have contracts with all different countries that we get all our export and import.
It's a bigger picture, mate.
They need to be very careful, because literally our country can become affected economically. So they have to protect that. But it's sad.
But there's more the reason why they should be looking after Meghan, then, isn't it?
Well, the thing is that
you see where I'm coming from now.
That they don't want that to enter their family. They'll rather keep it around
outside.
but not entering.
Mm.
It's like, look, Diana, before she passed away,
Yeah,
who
Dodie,
she dated? An
Dodie
Egyptian
died.
person,
Yeah.
right? Do you think how much you know, that would have brought a big controversy on the royal family, a biggest shame of all time,
Mm.
of her
Yeah.
to be an Egyptian Muslim,
Yeah. She was pregnant
right?
as well.
You know? And the thing is that, you know, for her, and then before that, she was with a Pakistani doctor, so
Yeah, I know about him. Yeah.
and they didn't like the things that she was doing.
Yeah.
But you know, and do you know what? I'm glad in a way that they have spoken up, because the thing is that these are the type of things that we do need to know, and we are need to be made aware of things that, you know, it might be a happy picture, the you know how it's perceived, but really they are actually going through the same things that everybody else is going through in reality,
Just in a different form. Yeah.
just in a different way and a different lifestyle. So, you know, but it's sad because, you know, these are the people that the public look up to.
Absolutely. You know? Absolutely, because she is going through depression. She has gone through depression. I think she still is, to be honest with you. And she's pregnant, heavily pregnant now. The second baby's going to be a girl, they're saying it is. And
I actually, to say that as well, to say that, you know, it's going to be a little girl.
Yeah.
Because they didn't say anything about Archie, did they?
No. Nothing about Archie. Archie's gorgeous. He just looks just like his dad.
He does, doesn't he?
He looks just like his dad. But, yeah, she's got a lot of mental health issues, and she's been through depression. I think she's still going through it, to be honest with you. I think really this.
Oh, Harry's going through it. Harry's going through it as well.
Yeah. So what else did you think that was very outspoken in the interview? Because that's the only two things that really dropped my jaw, was the colour of the child they were discussing, of the skin of him, and the bit that she said, you know, I don't want to live. That really got to me that day, and throughout the whole interview, because it just sort of brought back Diana really to me.
I think also like what she said as well, like, you know, when she said that she didn't think it was like the way that she thought it would be. So.
And they're all picking up on that on her.
I'll be honest with you, I just think the royal family are narcissists in different ways, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think you know, when you look at their actions and the way they, you know, kind of reacted to the whole thing as well, I think I can only agree. It does seem like, you know, that they're very self-centered and self-absorbed, and you can see they can, you know, they have got the capacity to go to any length to make sure that there is no change, or, you know, that they flow, they you know, they have no disruptions in their ways, and I think quite remarkable.
Do you know the guilt trip that they're giving them to? The biggest guilt trip that they're doing now is their granddad. Yeah, Prince Philip.
I know.
Oh, what if something happens now? Because they've just done that. He's in hospital. But these incidents can happen, or they can happen to anyone. Like, God forbid, something can happen to me today, and it's only happened because my daughter was having a birthday party. You know, you can't predict these things, can you? Something can happen. The guy's in hospital. He's been ill, and now saying, oh, and now this is the time them two came out with the interview. It's so well timed. Now, what if something happens to that man and he dies, and God forbid something happens? They're giving them a guilt trip on that. And other thing, Diana's statue. I think they're going to have an inauguration of the Diana statue, when they're thinking that he will come down to unveil it. I think it is. I'm not too sure about that, but already the prediction is that Harry will come down, but I don't think Meghan's going to come down.
Yeah, it's probably not really ideal for her to come down.
Exactly. Yeah, so what do you think about the guilt trip then? That's not right, is it?
I mean, well, you can always say, you know, those things and say, oh, like, you know, because Piers Morgan was saying that, wasn't he? He was saying
a lot. He was saying that so much.
He's in hospital and this, but, well, yeah, okay, well, you know, he's 99 years old. Obviously, he's going to go to hospital. It's not like he's not going to go. He's probably gone several times.
He's come out. He's actually come out today, hasn't he? I don't know.
So the thing is that, you know, but they've endured a lot for how long? How many years?
Absolutely.
Exactly. So yeah.
Right. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Anonymous?
I think, do you know what, you guys have summed it up so nicely, and I think it's just like Millie just said. I think they've endured a lot. They obviously didn't take, you know, I think I'm 100% sure this decision was not easy on them, and I'm sure they must have thought and rethought what they was going to do. I mean, it's, you know, it's not a walk in the park doing what they done. And it just makes you think, because you know, it makes you think, you know, how much pressure was they under, do you know what I mean, or what, you know, what mental state was Megan really in for Harry to then feel like, oh my god, you know, I have to do something about this. And you know, it just kind of makes you sit back, and it's such a sad reality to think that, you know, we're living in times where, you know, especially, you know, somebody from the royal family, and especially with Harry and Meghan, that, you know, yes, they all, let's be honest, from day one they was looked at as outsiders. Let's just be, there was always a stigma around them anywhere they would go, or any coverage they would get, it would always have this stigma. Having said that, it's just so sad to think that, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, Harry's lost his whole connection. He's lost, you know, his grandmum. He's lost his brother. If you think about it like that, because I'm sure this whole interview has probably had a very profound effect on the relationship moving forward as well.
I was going to say this, I was going to end it here by saying that, you know, at the end of the day, you know, they both made a decision. They're together, and by honest means, let's be honest here, right? You know what? It's nice that they're speaking out. I think in this time and age, I think people are speaking out more about racism. They're being more open than they were 15 years ago. Okay, it was still seen like, oh, you don't say that. You know, be quiet. You don't do things like that. So we're going to give them credit for that. At least you guys are all speaking out. Having said that you're speaking out and you're saying, you know, as it is, because it wasn't like that before, was it, Millie? It was, if you go 10 years down the road, you couldn't speak so openly at all.
No, you couldn't.
Yeah.
That, you know, how slowly is coming to a point now where people are opening up and they're expressing their voice, you know, letting people hear exactly what's going on and how they're dealing with it, having celebrities.
And also, and also, I'm going to end it here now, but what, as a grandmother, if I was a grandmother, and I think people need to understand, she needs to understand, she's his grandma, right? She's got the powers. She could do a lot of things. Look, personally, you're not getting along. There's a lot of things you don't like about one another, but he's still your grandson. Do you understand? So she should take that into consideration. And I wish that, you know, she still protects him in many ways that she can as a grandma. Sometimes you've got to overlook certain things. You know, you've got to not forget your relationship, because look, these kids have not had their mother as well since they were kids, right, from a very young age. The tragedy that they had to face, and then they had to go out and then walk in front of their mother's coffin. Come on, it's not easy, you know, in front of the whole world, and the whole cameras are on them. So I'm just going to say this, but, you know, as a grandma, I wish you could just have a bit of a heart and just watch out for the guy, mate. What do you think, ladies?
100%. I think she should put her crown to the side for a minute and think with her heart.
Just for a minute, just a minute. Right, thank you for tuning in to Bless Radio 1 with the Unityify platform, and the radio number is 079 444 31366. 079 444 31366. Thank you for tuning in to Bless Radio 1, and today we are on the Unityify platform. Now, the next conversation or topic, which is quite crucial for the ladies out there. Look, Sarah Everard, the lady that was murdered, and the person involved was a Met police officer. As you know, 33 years old, Sarah was last seen walking, I think it was on the 3rd of March, and I think her partner was shown, I think he's discovered on the CCTV camera, I'm not too sure, But he complained that she's gone missing the following day. He goes, she's not back, so he got worried and he complained. But they managed to find her body a week later. Right? Now, this has been a very controversial. This is the latest, basically, isn't it, Millie? And the biggest thing was that today he actually had a video conference from the Belmarsh prison, and it was a hearing today in the Old Bailey, and Sarah's family was actually linked on as well by the video link, and I think he's going to be on a trial on the 25th of October, and the guy's name is Wayne Couzens, and he's 48 years old. Now, as we all know, that happened, and then we had a vigil in Clapham, and I don't know if you ladies have been watching the news in Clapham when there was a vigil for Sarah, even though they said not to have it. The police sort of, as far as I know, there was a breakdown in covering or giving security for these ladies out there. But they had the vigil, and I'm going to ask you again, did you see the videos? Did you see the live videos? What was happening to the sisters? They were throwing them around. When they asked them to leave, they were actually putting them to the floor, handcuffing them, and pushing women around. And that has uproar to the point now they're debating, as we're speaking today, in the House of Commons. And now Priti Patel has actually said to everyone and protesters not to go out and do any more protests and stay away and stay home and, minimize the whole thing. And the bill that's going to be coming out, ladies, listen to this, a policing bill debate, which could lead to a crackdown on the rights to protest. And so that is quite dangerous, isn't it, Millie?
Yeah.
Because they're not going to just, they can target everyone now. Anyone going to go out and protest, and they're going to get pinned down and taken in, and the police will have the full rights to do what they like. And Priti Patel is actually going to, Labour's going to obviously stand against it, but there you go. And now the ladies are out there trying to protest and trying to say that they want the streets to be safer for them, so they can walk alone at night time and not worry. So what do you think of all this that's been going on, Emily?
Well, I've been going through this story, and first of all, you question yourself and you think to yourself, you're supposed to be protected by these officers, because obviously they're here to protect the public, right? And then you hear things like this, and then you question it, and you think, who is there actually to help, really? And the thing is that the guy was the police officer. He was actually a mechanic before he actually became a police officer.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the thing is that
they say it, Millie, because you know what? We can't look. We're not speaking just because we've got daughters. Just for women, for God's sake, women are going out. They want to be out. They want to walk home alone. It should be safe.
Well, this is the thing. If a police officer's doing it, how?
What do we do? Yeah.
How are you going to... I just think, and for these protests to be banned, at this moment in time, like, seriously, just trying to shut us up. That's what they're trying to do. And the thing is that, no, we're not going to shut up, because, we're not actually protected at all.
Yeah, because it gives them, if this does pass, because I've not seen it now, if it's gone, because all the MPs are going to actually debate and give their, what they want to do. But if this does pass, you do know it gives officers more powers to clamp down on protesters. But that means, Millie, that this is a very important, if it's going to be a protest for Sarah Everard, it concerns all of women, right? And on top of that, like you said, the police officers behind her murder. So now that they're going to give more policing bills passed where they can control protests and clamp us down and bring people down, that's like saying it's so weird, because then they're saying to the police, we're protecting you, but what about Sarah Everard? or the women that are going to be walking the streets, why are they not being protected as much? Because there was some,
Yeah.
there was some sort of I forgot what it was. It was like a gentleman was being jailed for a man was being jailed for something that he's done, and they're saying he's got a lesser sentence. I think less sentence for rape, and there's a bigger sentence for doing something like a protest or something like this, and you get a higher sentence for doing, speaking up the truth. It's gone past my head. I forgot what it was, but it was something on that line. So, a young girl's walking home. Police officer, I think she obviously is a police officer. She trusted him, and I'm not sure of the whole scenario. And then she went off with him or something, and then this is what he did to her. And also today, I think it was today or yesterday, one of the police officers has been sacked. Listen to this. Another police officer has been sacked for taking pictures of Sarah Everard and sending it on WhatsApp.
What?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
These people, you can just smell corruption. You know, the whole conversation
They're
is
supposed to be controlled. They're saving
corruption, and they're poisoning.
Can I just say something, right? From my experiences that I've had within the law system, not being a criminal, by the way, but like, because obviously I was going into law, and I saw a lot of things that are happening behind, and like, yes, they are corrupted. They're very, very corrupted, right? As example, like, you have drug dealers. They seize the goods, and guess who keeps the goods?
The police. I know about this.
Yeah.
I know someone who works in the police, and he told me about this as well. They find things in cars. Yeah.
Like taking it and I'm like, wow, like seriously. But you would actually think like these type of things, like, they happen,
in third world countries.
In like third world countries. Yeah. You know what I mean? But thing is, for it to happen here, it just shows that corruption is actually still here, and it's getting worse. And then now they're actually putting the public in danger when they're supposed to be protecting them.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's like a poison. They're doing this injustice to. I mean, like people are already saying, it's like, who are you supposed to trust anymore? This was a prime example. That poor girl trusted the police officer, and he ended up being the perpetrator. And they're not, and then obviously trailing on, then there is this debate in the parliament, and they're saying, oh, okay, we're gonna do the injustice, but we're also not going to let you speak out either. So it's just like one is just connecting to the other, and it just makes you realize how corrupt the system is sadly getting, and is very clear that it's very corrupt because of how they're going about it and how they're dealing with it.
But let's put the police to one side right now, Millie, and the other guest. The average man and the average woman, they're also being killed by by men, but just men that are not part of the Met or some on that line. So women do get murdered more, and this is why there was a protest about keeping the streets safe for us ladies to walk at night. Now, I just want to ask you ladies a question. Look, a lot of the ladies, when they're out in the clubbing and everything, they're so drunk and they don't know what they're doing, and some of the times they get picked up by the wrong men and things happen, and so how can we sort of go out there and explain? We'll get the word out there. Look, you can go out, but there's certain things that you need to be in control with. Like, obviously, when you're going out, I would really say to most of the girls, look, please, like my group when we used to go out, I say, look, I don't drink, you see. The rest of the girls did. I said, right, you're coming in my car, or we have two cars, we're all going together, and we make sure we drop the girls out of that so drunk they can't even walk. So we know they're safely gone home, right? And then we go home. Now, I also know some girls, they come together, they get so drunk, or forget about drinking, they have a little fight or something, and she goes off by herself. That is dangerous as well, right? So how are we going to educate the general public and say, look, there's certain things that you've got to, look out for. You can't, you just can't be in a position and vulnerable to the point where someone can take an advantage of you to that point, because it's so scary. So I know parents are on their toes until the kids don't come home. And unfortunately, I was speaking to this gentleman, and he was a bouncer in a very big nightclub, and he goes, 2 girls walked in, they were drunk. Now they got so drunk, they didn't know what they were doing, and one of the guys sneaked her into the bathroom, and he goes, because we were watching these girls for a while because we were worried that they were going to get taken, and unfortunately something could happen. Anyway, luckily, because like they were being watched by the bodybuilders and all the guys that were there, they realised that one girl was missing, so the boys all ran downstairs to check what's happening, to just check, because men didn't just know. We walked into the men's bathroom. 6 men were about to just do something with that poor girl.
Oh my!
They were shutting the door, and the bouncers came in and they opened the door and said, "What are you doing?" So they all dispersed.
Wow.
They had to get the girl, take her out, took her details, got her in the cab and sent her home.
Wow.
Now, see, I know I'm not saying that you shouldn't go out at night, and it's not fair. If girls are doing that, look, we're in this country. In this country, it's a country that allows you to do what you want. Okay. So fine. The girls are choosing to do that. Then it's the men, innit? The men have to educate themselves now.
I think it's just important to, like you just said, just bring awareness to our girls, and especially our young girls and young ladies, to to make them aware that this is really real. And I think after this incident, especially with the girl being what's her name? Sorry, I forgot her name as well.
Sarah Brown.
Yeah, with the recent incident, I think it kind of probably has shook a lot of people, and I think it's just important to understand the root cause, and that is really we are walking amongst wolves disguised in sheep clothing. And we've got predators everywhere, and I think it's just very important.
But I'm going to be very honest as well, though, because some of my male friends, look, they've come back with something very positive. They said, we are part of the problem and we need to address this. And he goes, why are our ladies walking on the streets and they have a fear and they're scared? Now, it was not a meme, but there was, I should have brought that in. A gentleman said,
are you there?
Yeah, I'm there, sorry. A gentleman said that I was sitting around the bar and a lady walked in and there was a group of us men sitting there, and we just said to the lady, look, we're not straight men, we're gay men. And she goes, you could see the women drop their shoulders, the body language, and he goes, a sense of release of fear. Oh, we're all right, man, these guys are gays, they ain't gonna do nothing. And he goes, that made me think, what are we doing to these women?
100%.
Do you see how deep that was, Milli?
Yeah. It is.
I'm not guest.
That is very deep.
That is deep. So he said by saying that, he goes, I constantly say that sometimes so the girls feel relaxed, so they know they're not in no trouble or no, and the fear is released. That is so deep. I went, oh my God.
No, that is.
Do you get it?
I have no words. I mean, I don't even know how to word this right now, because I think it's very, very real. I think I think that should be a wake-up call for the men out there. To say, have a long look at themselves and and
it's not all men. We know that, okay? If it was like that, they'll be all out in the streets. Obviously, it's not all men. It's a few that are hanging around doing this, yeah? And
But you see, one thing that you mentioned that whole incident with the girl, with the girl, being taken to the toilet, and there was other.
yeah,
One thing I have realized is that there's only a handful of there's only a handful of people who actually do the deed. There are always a handful of bystanders who just watch, who
yeah,
Yeah.
stand there and just watch,
yeah.
and do you know what I mean? So, and I feel like these people are just as guilty as the person who's actually involved in the crime. And I think it's very important for especially our young men, the young people out there to
Yeah.
understand that when something of that nature is happening,
Mm.
injustice is happening, you will see it everywhere. You have so many bystanders. Nobody even actually would it's very rare that you'd see somebody jump in and say this is wrong. The majority of people, they're actually not even involved. They're just bystanders, and that's sad. That is a very scary and sad reality because, let's face it, it happens on a daily basis. And whether you get into an argument, or you get into, an altercation, or whether it's injustice in whatever way you want to take it, whatever way you want to picture it, you'll see, and you will always come to the conclusion that you will always have a handful of people who actually just watch you, and they won't do anything about it.
No,
And the sad thing is, Sarah Everard was not. I don't think she was drunk. She was just simply walking home.
yeah, she was.
Do you understand? And this is what the anger is. She was a simple, just a girl walking home from a partner's place, and this happened. Now we're talking about the extreme case of girls that are totally drunk and they're on the floor. They don't know what they're doing, and they get, the vulnerable, and the men are taking advantage of it. And yeah, I will say to those sisters out there, please, when you're out with your girlfriends, go with your girlfriends, come back with your girlfriends. That's my advice.
100%. There has to be you see, you have to make sure that even the crowd that you're involved in, the people you're going out with, I think it's important.
Yeah, because we're constantly blaming the men. We also have to take control of our own actions as well.
100%.
Well, yeah, true. You do have to do that, because the thing is that, like men's. Have you heard like where men say, "Oh, well, you shouldn't dress like that because you're looking for the wrong attention."
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. Well, do you know, like, in one way, I can understand it.
Absolutely.
But in another way, it's like, well, why can't women dress the way that they want to dress? But then the thing is that I believe that, a woman can dress the way that she wants to dress, but also you need to be aware of the environment that you're surrounded in as well. So if you are going to dress the way you're going to dress, you need to question yourself at that time and think, okay, where am I going tonight? Okay, I'm going to go to a club. So if I do this, am I going to attract unwanted attention? Look, I don't like, for myself, I've been out clubbing a lot in my lifetime, and I've had situations where things have happened, and I haven't even asked for it. I'll be honest with you, I have not even asked for it, and I haven't gone out, and I haven't worn clothes that attracted unwanted attention, and things have happened to me, and and it just, the thing is that I just think that the guys that do it, or the men that do it, I think that they have a problem, and that problem is unknown. Because look, I mean, why? Look, at the end of the day, I'm sure they have sisters, mothers, whatever. Yeah, they wouldn't treat them. So why treat another?
Haven't we been saying this for generations? I had my grandma saying the same phrases, but does it ever work? I don't think that works really a lot. You can say what you like.
They think that they have priority because they think that, oh, well, you're dressed like that, and or well, you're in a club, or well, you're here, so I have the right to do whatever I want to do, or like, well, you're walking on your own at night. Like, why would you be walking on your own at night? You're asking for something. No, it's not. This is like, it's a free country, and you're allowed to do things that you want to do. But unfortunately, with this Sarah situation, I mean, it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, I'm really saddened by that.
And I think now, because obviously the
no, I don't want to bring the race in, but I don't want to please make it a racial thing. For me, it's a woman that's been killed. So it applies to all of us. But look how quickly they managed to find her body, and the search was so quick, and they were really on it.
Yeah, that is true. Unfortunately, we have it in every system. So that's something that, needs to be changed. But, yeah, I mean, it's a saddening event, to be honest with you. It's really sad that she had to go through that.
Yeah. And I just don't know what to say about Sarah, because I think it's hit us all, really, because I think that's why there's going to be a huge protest. I think they're planning to do another one where they're all going to come on the streets to actually make a protest to say that, we want to claim back our streets and make them safe for the sisters to walk on the road. But there's still the debate stands, Millie, because you know what? Like you said, and there's another side to it that, it's up to you how you want to dress. And then there's another part, you're asking for it, like you said, Unfortunately, it's such a thin line between both of them, because we're talking about United Kingdom here. Let's not talk about other countries right now where there's no way you can do that in certain countries, especially let's go to the Middle East and further down. So there's if it's happening there, you're finished, right? Remember the rape case of that girl in India on the bus? Remember that?
Yeah.
When she was gang raped by 4 guys.
Yeah.
And they gang raped her at the back of the car, back of the van. Bus, sorry, and because she was a boyfriend, and they only raped her because her and her boyfriend was being a bit touchy and being a bit sentimental. And he goes, "Why are you doing that?" And the guy just flipped, and he goes, "Right," took her to the back and beat her up, and they all raped her. And then he put a rod in her on the front and back, and took all our intestines, and she died basically after 4 or 5 days. So you see the horror, and she was fully dressed. Casual girl, nicely dressed like we dress in Asian clothes, and that girl had to endure that. Over here, girls can wear what they like, do what they like.
I think all rapists should be castrated. Sorry, I had to put that in there.
That took me by surprise. No, but of course. I mean, it makes to me it makes total sense. I totally agree. I think but if somebody can cross the line of humanity and you can become barbaric and act like an animal, I think that would be one of the. I mean, you do it to animals. If they act out of line, you do it to them, and
Look, humans rape animals as well.
yeah. That's true. I mean, this is what I'm saying. It should be up for debate, to be honest, because I would vote for it. And you should. Do you know what? Let's not laugh at this. I think it's not a laughing matter at all, to be honest, actually. But having said that, I think the whole is shocking. I think we talk about bars, we talk about clubs, but then we also have to understand the environmental factors, right? We're dealing with people who are getting drunk. These people.
Don't forget, we've got men out there who are conditioned to just see a woman and rape her. 100. The mental sick people out there. And please, I'm not saying it to
he hated on me for that. But when it was time to marry me, he jumped at it. But to actually carry out that marriage, he didn't want to face no responsibility. So he thought, you know what, let me drag this girl down here, let me break her confidence, let me treat her like this, that and the other, hoping that she...
Well, Aisha, I'm going to actually say
Hold
something
on.
here.
Are they
Who have been through exact situation as yours, and that's how they felt about their man. And all he did was marry them, and then he thought, you know what, I'm going to bring her down to the point, you know, to the level where she cannot think for herself. And
Hello?
Bless, can you hear me?
No.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, you cut out. You cut out completely. We couldn't.
Yeah, I'm sorry because I was getting a call from America. The girl from America's joining in, but I don't know where you didn't.
describing them as.
Yeah, it's just about growing, really. It's about growth. Wasn't. It was sick.
Yeah.
It was a sickness.
And once you started going out, you saw,
you
seen the way
and it was affecting my kids.
Mm.
So now this man, what you said about to your mandem about twice a child,
Yeah.
he is now on his own. He's 50 plus. He's moved back to Pakistan, and he's got no kids near him. He doesn't have me near him. He's gone back to his family home, who were all living their lives with their wives and their kids.
Right. So
But he's the only one.
Right. So this is why we get back to what I'm saying. This is why.
So why are we still fighting for our own protection? Why is that?
And why do we have to dress a certain way? I mean, I'm not. Listen, I'm the sort of person that obviously, I like to dress very, I don't really expose myself like that, and I have my own.
You dress modestly.
Modestly. You see, but what I'm saying is, yes, on one hand we say it's a free country, but then on the other hand we feel like, but wait, I have to now oblige to look and dress a certain way. Listen, I'm not saying it's right to expose yourself, whatever. Everyone's got their own state of own views, but I'm just saying in my own mind that I don't care what I'm wearing. If I don't want to be, if I don't want to be approached, or if I tell you not, with respect and cautiously, and tell you, listen, and I don't want to speak to you, or can you please, keep your distance. I want to be respected. I want to have. I don't need to think. Oh my God. Okay. Well, I'm wearing a skirt right now, and that's it. This guy's gonna pounce on me because I've got my legs showing. Like, why? Why do I have to think like that?
I know
You guys understand where I'm coming from?
Now I know there's no man here, right, to actually answer that, but maybe I can sort of speak for the men.
Yeah.
Oh, can we?
They're gonna say, well, if Bless was on it, say the man down will say this to you.
The
man
man
down will say,
down.
you are asking for it if you are totally naked.
I'm missing Bless right now.
Let Bless rest. So basically, the men will say, but you're asking for it. I mean, your women are there.
But you see, but this is what I'm saying. I don't leave the house. And I can only say my own views, right? I don't leave my house every day thinking, oh my God.
But you see, I understand where you're coming from, but we're talking about like Sarah didn't do anything. So
There you go, prime example. She didn't do absolutely nothing, but then you had an animal out there.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about women, an extreme case where they're in the clubbing half naked. So obviously you're talking about men. So I'm gonna have to speak up for men because, like I said, Bless is not there. So he would say, but you girls shouldn't be doing that and putting yourself in such a position and going out at night so late, knowing the fact that you might end up walking home alone, which means you're opening another door for someone to come and say, right, I'm waiting for this girl to cross the road so I can grab hold of her. Keeping in mind we are weak. Let's be honest, one girl, one guy, you know you're not going to get nowhere with it, okay? So,
but then, do you know what? But then, sorry to cut you there, but then my question, well, then we're going to go back to Sarah again, because Sarah wasn't coming back from a club. You know,
but you don't understand. Sarah's not the case I'm talking about. Sarah was decently going home. She got kidnapped or killed by a guy who was supposed to be protecting us. The Metropolitan Police are supposed to be on our side, protecting us. But we're talking about another extreme case. So I'm just defending the men, saying that the men will probably come across and say, "No, sister, I'm sorry, but you need to sort of cover yourself or go home with 2 friends."
Okay, but then we can say it like, okay, so if that's how you feel, but what are you doing out at this time then?
Exactly.
He's doing the same thing as you.
Time,
he's out there. He's out. The man dam's clubbing as well. I'm speaking for the men.
No,
I'm speaking for the men
out
now. So the man dam
is
out
clubbing there to look for his victim.
No. So the man dam is clubbing.
The man dam.
Okay, so the man is clubbing, yeah, just like you.
Yeah, but you see.
But I'm gonna be honest here, right? When you're going out clubbing, right, be very honest. Are the men dressed like you, or I don't see a guy.
They don't have to listen. I tell you how it is, right? I tell you how it is in a club. Men do not express themselves through how the way that they dress or anything like that. It's their actions, yeah. So a man like in a club, like if they were to, like say for instance, like they say a girl the way that she dressed, she's asking for attention. Like say for instance, a guy's in club and he's dancing and he's chilling and he's giving the eye and he's like, girl, you know, like giving all the attention. So yeah, he's asking.
Hold on a minute. He's asking, right? But he knows. Listen, there's a strength here. He's more stronger, and you're not as strong as him. Let's be honest here now. Yeah. Now, a guy will say, like I said, I'm speaking for the guys today. So the guy will say, listen, man, you're looking gorgeous, you're looking sexy, and you're bloody half naked right now, right? You are actually telling me, and you're giving, I'm not saying you're going up to the guys, but men are attracted to women. It's just the way it is, yeah? Men will go to a woman if she is dressed in a certain way and feel attracted to her because that's what men do, yeah? The normal guy will do. Now, as women, when we say, protect, so this is what we're trying to tell the young girls. Look, girls, maybe you need to dress in a certain manner because so you are not attracting the wrong guy. I'm not saying that's not the case, but in most cases, the guy may not be attracted to you in certain ways. I'm just talking from the man's because my blessed darling, I can't find him nowhere today.
Well, do you know what, men? Do you know what I want to say to that man? I want to say to you, love, you need to have a bit of self-control.
I think Bless is online, by the way.
Yeah, I've been listening.
I will say to him, you need to have self-control.
Nice. You women need to wrap up and stop showing yourself. Yeah, that's what you need to do.
Welcome, Bless. I missed you.
I miss you too, but I just sitting down listening because I just said, you know what, it's a woman thing, but you women need to wrap up and that's it. I hear what you're saying now.
See, I told you, that's exactly what I knew you were going to say that.
I'm not going to, I'll tell you why, just for your own protection, because you know that there's man them out there when they see a bit of legs, they can't control themselves, right?
Exactly.
So if you know that's the danger out there, why do you go and show it?
Exactly. Okay, now I'm not on your side now. I'm on the girl's side.
No, but for real, if you got a Rolex watch,
I'm back to my girls, mate.
If you got a
No, Bless. But you see, this is what I'm saying. Why do I have to contemplate as to how I need to live my life so I can have these vultures, these animals not attack me? But they need to know where their place is in the first place.
There's laws. There's laws in everything. There's laws and rules, even in nature. Yeah. Now, if you got a Rolex watch, you're not gonna walk in a dangerous estate with a Rolex watch on your wrist because you know there's a danger. Yeah, we're not in a what you call native country, wherever we are. We're in a place where there's different people from different backgrounds and perverts and all different kinds. You know the danger once you step out that door. You cannot dictate who's got the right to touch you and who's not got the right to touch you. You can say that, but once you step out the door, you can't tell a rapist.
So blessed.
No, he's talking.
Yeah, but you can't tell a rapist, because I've got my short skirt on, that doesn't give you the right to rape me.
But the thing is that we shouldn't have a mindset thinking that there is going to be a rapist that's going to be out for us, and we should not have that type of mentality as women, because we need to have that mindset and say to ourselves, you know what, we're going out tonight because we want to have a fun time for ourselves, and I'm going to dress the way that I want to dress because it's my body and it's the way that I want to. It's the way that makes me feel happy. And if a man cannot control himself, right, that's his own prerogative, right? But the thing is, that does not give him the right, because the way that I am dressed does not give him the right to do whatever he wants with me, because my body is mine.
I hear you.
Nobody else's. Yeah?
I hear you, but the way you're dressed in, how you want to be, is that not a European culture way of dressing?
Because the thing is, you should not look.
No, answer him back, Millie. Listen to what he's saying. It's very deep what he's saying.
I said, the way you dress when you want to go out, isn't that not a European culture way of dressing?
Why are you addressing a certain minority of the way that they dress?
Because if you go to Pakistan or India or Africa, you don't see them dressed like that. Yeah, naturally. Yes.
Actually, you do.
You do now. No, you do now.
Does a geographical origin really matter? We're just talking about mindsets.
Yeah, but
we're talking about. You know, if the thing is here. Listen, the thing is, to me,
the girls in Pakistan are getting raped as well, mate.
Yeah, you see what I'm talking about. What we're trying to get at is the mindset. That the mindset needs to change. We're not saying that I got to do this and then you're going to change. We're saying, well, change regardless, because...
Bless is saying, why can't you wear shalwar kameez to the club?
Well, I can wear shalwar kameez, and I can guarantee you, Bless, I would probably still have people approaching me.
All right, then put it another way, then.
Here.
Go on.
Sorry. I said I'm not trying to sound big-headed here, but I'm sure, like Unityify just said, you know, even in other countries, okay, even let's do the geographical location, let's say all over. I think time and statistics and data has proven that actually, you don't actually have to expose yourself to be treated in a certain way by men.
That's true.
Like it's still happening, whether you're wearing a skirt or a mini skirt, or you're wearing joggers, or you're complete a burqa, a letterbox, wherever you're wearing. If I'm talking about mindsets. I think dress sense has not got so much to do with behind somebody's actions. I think it's very deep.
I think it's got a lot. You're not a man, and I'm telling you from a man's point of view, dress sense has got a lot to do with it. Yeah. A man goes to a club.
It is.
A man goes to a club and he see 3 girls lining up in a row. One of them is in a jihad and the other 2 is in a skirt. Yeah. Which one is he gonna go for?
You mean hijab?
Bless.
Yeah. Same thing.
It's called hijab.
Hijab.
Whatever you wanna, I call it. That's what I call it.
Conversation based on.
No, but I'm just giving you the mindset of man.
Look, right? The way that I look at it, the way that women dress is a sort of expression of the way that they actually express themselves, right? If a man cannot handle himself by seeing a woman, then he has no right to be in that type of atmosphere or wherever he is at that time. He needs to be blindfolded and taken.
But also, Bless, one more thing I want to ask you, because I'm glad you come on, because I think we need to hear from a man's point of view. A lot of girls that are on the seaside who are butt naked, right? And there are thousands and thousands of places they go to these places and they're on the seaside. Most of the girls don't do that, but what about those girls as well?
All right, then. Look, I'll put it to you another way,
What,
ladies.
the one on the seaside?
Yeah, they're okay. They're naked, aren't they?
Do you know what you need to do? You need to come down to Brighton Beach here
Exactly.
in the
I've
summer.
been there.
All right, ladies, let me put it to you another
the
way.
women. No, not just the women.
Okay,
the
listen
men
to him.
too.
No,
All
listen
right,
to
let,
him.
let me put it another way, yeah? Would you let your 13-year-old girl go out in a miniskirt?
That's what I said to the girl who's
Not
being in
a
the
13-year-old.
No, but
No, but I would say to my
it doesn't
daughter,
matter about the
or
age.
myself,
Would
look, if
why
you wanna
would you
go
not
out-
let? Why the question is why would you not let her go out in a miniskirt at the age of 13? Why?
Well, with me, I think personally, because I'm by religion, I'm a Muslim, so I think obviously that for me personally, it's going to be a religious debate in the house, and I would say, well, in our part of our culture and part of our faith is that we dress modestly, so that would be my leverage behind as to why I wouldn't let my daughter walk out the house with a skirt.
Well, would you let her walk? Okay, let's forget the religion and forget the faith right now for a minute. In general, if we had a girl that was 13 years old, let's be honest here, right?
Mhm.
Would we let our girl go out like that? I would not let her go out. I'm going to be the first to say, no, I would not.
And the question is
I would
why?
Let's just say something.
I would
right?
say no. I would try and talk her out of it, dressing so provocatively. I say to her, look, please tone it down. It's not safe.
It's not
because,
appropriate for her age.
Yeah, for her age. And it's not appropriate.
What's age got to do with it? What's age? This is my point. Is what's age got to do with it?
Because, right, the reason why age has got to do with it is because she's 13, she's still growing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that when you have these paedophiles and everything going around, the thing is that she will attract unwanted attention at her age, which she should not be mentally going through that as she's developing as a child. Because you need to remember, she is still a child. She's not an adult. When you're an adult, you see things a lot more differently than you do as a child because your brain is still growing. So therefore,
and your body.
Yeah, and therefore I would protect a child, my child, or anybody's child that thinks that going out in a miniskirt and dressing provocatively in that sense of manner and thinking they're not going to attract male. And you know what, it won't be the younger males that be after them, it'll be the older males that be after them because and that is also, it affects the mentality, the mental state, the mental mind of a child. So it affects them later on. So that's why I would say age is a big factor within that.
All right, you're a politician, man. Listen. Yeah, you just went right around it like a politician, right? The reason why you don't let your daughter wear that, even if she's 17, yeah, there is no age when she's allowed to wear what she wants, yeah? Once she's under your roof, your mentality is to protect her from the danger that is out there.
Exactly.
Yeah, but when you go out there, you think that you don't have to protect yourself because you're old enough to do what you want and dress how you want. The danger's still out there regardless of your age. You see my point?
Yes, that is true.
Yeah,
Yes.
you got a good point.
No, that is very true. The danger is out there, but then we are more equipped to see the red flags and to acknowledge it at least now and then. Do you understand?
Right.
Now, with a child, they're not able to do that because they don't know. They haven't experienced life.
Okay, so this is where religion comes into it. This is why I respect certain religion, because religion is supposed to protect you from this. This is why they dress their women a certain way to protect them from the dangers. It's like an invisible camp, and it protects them from those outside the camp.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But when you decide to not wear that protection and not to walk in that protection, now you leave yourself open to all the predators in the jungle. So big up Islam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Islam does do that.
Right? And this is why religion is a good thing if they practice it properly, because it protects the woman from other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when women get to a certain age and want to go out, they forget that that's what the religion was for, to protect you, to cover you.
Yeah.
You understand? But you decide you don't want this no more. You don't need this. You're your own boss. Well, then when you be your own boss in the jungle, there's lions and tigers out there. So you have to prepare yourself. You can't make the rules in the jungle. You can't make the rules in nature. The rules are already there. Which, that's how it is. The laws of nature. So when you got in the jungle in your short skirt and your boobs then pushed up, what are you telling what are you telling the frustrated man? So it's not directly your mindset, it's the message that you're sending to another mindset. I don't mean you must wrap up completely. If with your man, you wear what you like because you're protected by that man. But if you're by yourself, you have to be aware of the sharks and the vultures. You can dress where you want within reason, but once your chest starts looking like your ass, and people can see this, you are now saying, look at my boobs. Look at the top of my cleavage. Can you see my cleavage? Of course we can see your cleavage. You understand? Like we're blind. So I'm saying like
Bless. I enjoyed that posh accent you just did.
Yeah, I learned that from Unityify. Hey, can you see my cleavage? And she goes, yeah, and she goes, I love you.
You said I love you.
Do you know what? That was just epic. That was
That
awesome.
was a killer, yeah. I got a lot of phone calls because I love you, bitch.
Yeah.
You need to do the audiobook for that, though, Bless.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. But you see my point, though, ladies. Yeah. And when a man is having a conversation with you at a bar, you think he's looking at you, but as soon as your eyes turned, he's looking at your chest. Some men.
Yeah.
But you don't notice it. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to show you that sometimes women make themselves a target. Sometimes by showing their flesh. Flesh is an attraction, you know. And if you got beautiful, nice brown flesh, you're automatically an attraction. You know what I mean? Because some men don't get to see that. You understand?
Yeah.
Some men don't get to see that. And when they go to a club and they see that, and when they go home to their wives got all curlers in their hair, some 1960s nightgown, and some bed slippers with the big toes sticking out. You understand? You know?
Bless.
Yeah.
I told you not to discuss your personal life online.
Yeah, Bless. I was going to say, what experience have you made in life for you to have that opinion?
Well, I've learned that. I've learned a lot because
we can only bless you.
give thanks. But I've learned I've been on both sides of the coin. You see, I used to be one of them man that said, "Boy, you look buff and thing, and you come we go." And then after a while, I realized them kind of girl that give me a bag of trouble. You understand?
Yeah.
And when I get the girl that wraps up, and maybe she might wear jeans or trousers, and when she got that self-respect for herself, that makes me respect her more.
I think that's a valid
Yes.
point you've made, Bless. That is a very valid point. I think it comes down to self-respect at the end of the day.
Yes.
You know, the way you perceive yourself is the way people are going to perceive you. So
Right.
I think that is basically the gist of it.
Also, one more thing is that, you know, when men say it, right, look, obviously he said what he said, and there's nothing wrong in accepting the fact that the points that he's made, there's nothing wrong with those points, because what he's saying is actually protecting us. But some women find that offensive as well.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not going to do it. No, I don't care what you... But girls, and this is where I'm going to be honest here, I would say to the girls that I go with and the sisters that go out, cover yourself. Why do you have to flaunt it? For who? For why? You want to have a good time, you can do it modestly.
Okay.
You know? You don't... I'm really... Sorry.
Go and carry on. Finish first.
No, it's okay, so go on. Sorry.
There's another point now, yeah, where you women are also to blame. Because some of you women watch too much of this media and think,
Come up with that.
Carry
yeah.
Carry on.
Some of you women. I know. I hear the air. She wanted to punch me now. You know, she's slapping her fist like this. She's going, "Go on, say it. I dare you. Say it. Dare you to say it." Yes, I'm gonna say it. I'm going to say it.
I'm sitting here, bless. I'm sitting here with my thumb. I'm say it.
Yeah. No, some of you women are to blame. Yeah, some of you women are to blame because at the end of the day, when you dress a certain way, as I said before, you're gonna attract certain man. You know what I mean? They got a thing called out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? And when you dress like that, I'm not saying I'm like this. I'm just trying to show you what some man them think. It's deep, man. It's so deep. You understand that? You don't even know that the predator's with you, taking you out every week, and that could be your predator. You understand? You know, there's some different mindset out here, and that's why when I, as I said, go back and looking at religion and certain little things, how they protect their women. You have to respect that. That's even in all religion. There's no religion that tells a woman to dress like that. The Creator himself forbid women to dress like that in every spiritual walk. So that means you have adapted a European custom and decided to say, well, you've got the right to expose your bum on your chest. You understand? You got the right to show your legs above your knee. Well, if you got the right to do that, I have the right to look.
You have the right to look, but you don't have the right to touch.
Well, you know what? You can't tell a child to go in a sweet shop and don't touch the lollipops. Because a child don't.
No, I don't agree with that mindset. I can't. You see, now that you've said this, all of these young boys, young men, you can't even call them men really, but you know, they'll be listening to this. They'll be like, oh, okay, so you know, okay, cool. So you're basically saying, I can do whatever I want, and this is what I'm saying. It's about the mindset, the fact that we need to agree. Okay, cool, we have a problem here, and then instead of justifying it, saying no, you know, it's wrong. These boys should not be doing that.
No, these boys need to be educated.
Educated,
It's you girls then, man. You don't get
and
it,
you
man.
can justify anything to me, Bless, but one thing I will not accept is the fact that you can say, oh yeah, okay, cool, yeah, okay, you're dressed that way, all right, cool, that gives me the right to do it. No,
you're asking for it.
We need to identify the problem and say, no, this is wrong, and we need the men to agree with us and say, yes, this is wrong. Yeah, and then say, but we want to educate our women and say, listen, girls, listen, ladies, how about you guys wrap up nice and warm? And we can, you know, and that's that. To me, that's how I would like to address this problem. I would not say, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but then you're going to have women that are going to say to you, well, do you know what? I have my own freedom of expression, and my own freedom of expression is the way that I dress. And that's something that you cannot take away from them. Yeah, and the thing is that I believe that women should dress how they want, and we should. I don't believe that we should tell women that they need to dress up, you know. But the thing is that we need to educate, because you know what women are doing. They're not doing anything against the law by dressing the way that they're doing. Right, the men, what they're doing is that when they're looking and touching the women in a that's not presented, right, that is breaking the law, right? That goes on to another level.
Oh please, right? Please, so play the violin, man. Play the violin. Right? Right? I got no time for this rubbish.
I love this.
Because of the way the woman is dressed, right? And you're going to say to her, oh, wrap up, because, you know, I can't, you know, I just can't stop looking at you because of the way you're dressed, and it's giving me nasty thoughts.
She's got a point. Let's look at
not at all. Because,
Bless, that's a problem. Okay, Bless, she's got a point.
She's got a point, but I'm looking at natural. I'm looking at what it is. Yeah? A leopard has got spots for a reason.
Yeah, but you're a man. You're going to think like that. You're not going to think with your mind. You're going to think, you know, with your
eyes.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No, I'm not going to.
And you know.
You grow out of it.
But the thing is that, you know, you need to understand is that us women, we have freedom of expression and we have our own rights.
You took it. You took it. You wasn't. No, you took green. You took this way of life. You it's like there's many doors.
No. This has always been
No, there's many doors.
Always been that opportunity to dress that the way we were. Look at back in the 1950s. Look, the women, the way that they used to dress, prerogative. It's always been there. But now men, they put this mindset. Thinking, oh well, do you know what? You've actually come out the way that you've come out, so I can do whatever I want. All right, then. Because you're dressed like that.
Let's go. All right, cool. All right, then let's go back to religion then. In religion.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
In religion. No. I have my say as a man with clothes on. I've got all my clothes on. In religion. Yeah. What did they call the people that dress like that in religion. According to religion, any religion, when a woman dresses,
Okay, can I just say
revealing
something
herself,
to you?
what do
In
those
religion, there
books
should be
call
no
her?
pubs, no bars, no clubs,
Yeah, what did the books call her?
right?
God, what does the books them call her? All these women that dress showing themselves, what do those books, what do they call these women?
I'm not going to say it. I don't know.
Right, they call them
Okay,
harlots.
okay.
They call them harlots. They call them concubines. Yeah. Now,
Right.
man has used those women to publicize a certain type of thing, either business or dramatic, make it an attraction. Yeah, but in the books, original books, these women who dressed like that were called harlots and concubines.
Yeah, but these.
Hold on, who's talking?
No,
Sorry, I
go on.
can't hear him.
I said the books call these women who dress like that. Every religious books most probably call these women harlots or concubines. Yeah, that's what they call them. That for a reason. That means they are not like doing what women supposed to really do. They're like semi-outcasts. Semi-outcasts. They're there when you need them, and that's why they dress like that. You know what I mean? To make themselves available. Prostitutes used to dress up in those days. They used to cover themselves as prostitutes, but they were still prostitutes. So I'm saying again, it works two ways. Number one, I agree with the women that it is the man them that need to control themselves. Really, yes. But as I also say, if we look at what we're doing, go on.
Can I just say something? You know, in regards to the concubine, weren't they actually in a legal relationship though?
No.
Between that person.
No,
in Islam, they were, because they actually had to have a temporary marriage, right? Between the free man, and also the reason why these actually concubines actually came into account was because Islamically was to encourages basically the freeing of the slaves. So what they would do is that they'll do like a temporary marriage, so it basically improves their status in society, right? But the thing is that is completely different from this day and age now, because the women that go out, they're not looking for marriage, they're not looking to be enslaved, they're not looking for that.
No, well, that's your interpretation of concubine is different to ours. You know what I mean? A concubine could be like a woman that is there when you want a piece. You know what I mean? So,
they still have it.
But they call them concubines. She's just a bit on the side.
Shia law.
Yeah,
they have it.
No, but listen, Milli, you've mixed it up. You see, what you've said about the Shia, it's called a muta, right? Now, what these guys do, right? They have a agreement for 2 months or 3 months, marriage, and the divorce, they get rid of her. Yeah.
No, I'm not confusing it with Shia. I'm just saying that.
No, but you're talking about the
concubinage was actually back then in Islamically, it was basically to free them from slavery, right? To give them a status.
But they didn't marry them.
society.
No, they didn't marry them because our prophet, well, after when he came, then he laid the rules down. Before that, women were taken there. One man had 20, 30 women, and he didn't marry them. He had them there just to satisfy his needs.
Like King Solomon.
Exactly. But when our prophet came, he stopped that. He goes, "This is wrong. You take a woman as your wife. If you have to have a second wife, you have to have reasons for that. Reasons being, she can't bear a child. She's no longer wants to be with you. Whatever the reasons are, you have to have a understanding with one another to have a second wife, or 4 wives or 3 wives. But there have to be reasons. Even with that, you're not allowed.
Yeah, but the thing
there's
is,
no way you can have concubines and have them married, and it's finished. I remember you read it up properly, and you're right, absolutely. I'm not saying you're wrong, because that's what they did. They used to go out on war, and they have their wives with them, so they were allowed to go, free
but
slaves.
what I'm
take
saying
them in.
now is this: in 21st century, the women are not looking to be that, right?
Well, he's
They
talking
have
on the
their
religious
own-
basis right now.
Which is the foundation.
He's saying about religion.
Religion is important because that is the foundation. You see, these are signs, for me, these are signs of people that are straying away from God and want to do their own thing. God's already set the template. Mother Nature has set the template. But we decide that we are old enough to decide by ourselves with the free will that God has given us We have the free will to choose. We might think it's all right for us, but in the eyes of God or the Creator, we cannot dress like that to pray. But we can dress like that to go out.
Because when I pray, obviously.
So we know
there's
we know.
Point there, blessed, right? When we pray, we have to be top to bottom covered.
Right. And your head has to be covered. So that's for a reason.
Top to bottom.
So what women are really doing is doing their own thing. I want to dress like this. I feel comfortable like this. That means you are using your own free will instead of God's will. And God's will is to protect us.
You know, what about if that person doesn't believe in God?
But no, you don't have to believe in God, but these are guidelines to protect you. You understand? They've got commandments. You don't have to really be religious to follow the commandments. But it's just there to protect you from the dangers that are out there. All these rules and things what the Creator has put there, even in nature, is there to protect you from the dangers out there. Because you're not the only species in the jungle. And some of them eat each other. You know what I mean? The lion will eat the cat, or the lion will eat the snake, or the lion will eat something else. So there's rules for that other animal to protect him out of the danger of the lion. He's not the only one here. And God has said, we are not the only one here. But here's the rules so that you can be protected when you are out here in this jungle. But if you don't want to follow the rules by your own free will, then that's your business. But there is rules. Simple. That's it. You don't have to be religious to follow them. But if you decide to be, I want to dress out, I want to dress because I feel happy, then that means it's a I, me, self. God said.
But listen, bless. One more thing. We've got to understand that we are living in this country, right? So this country allows you to dress.
No, it doesn't allow you. You make that decision.
You want to. Let me just finish here. How you want to, whenever you want to. So this is why there's an uproar here. And this is why women are saying, no, we want safety in streets. Now, this is the country we're talking about, we're living in here now, right? Forget the religion and everything that we're talking about now. So girls are saying, okay, fine, I want to do this. And you've got a point, bless. Look, I'm actually totally agree with you because that is a part of my religion, what you're talking about. And I agree with that. But like I said, we're in this country, the Christianity faith allows you to do whatever you like and, dress however you like.
Right.
So what do we do in a scenario like this?
Well, can I hear it from another person, please? Can I have another lady give her point of view on what I just said?
It's going to be the guest one. What's her name?
Well, do you know what? I agree with what you've said, okay, for once. But
I knew there was be a but, I knew there was going to be a but.
No, because listen, if we talk about general, we talk about basics or basics of dress sense or whatever. Okay, cool, I understand. However, this does not justify the action of these boys out there. You can't say, you can't justify what they're doing, regardless of how somebody chooses to dress. It's like, you're gonna act like an animal, but but that's because this person, this external factor made me turn into an animal. Like, you can't say that. I feel we have to separate these two subjects because okay, cool, we can have this debate and say, well, the commandments of God, and and I totally agree with that. Having said that, we still cannot justify how these men act. You can't justify that. You can't say because so and so was dressed like that. No, if we talk about religion, we can apply religion to that behavior.
Exactly.
I hear you, but I don't see the statistics saying a lot of women who's dressed like Muslims being harassed on street. Or I don't see that happening.
Yeah, but you see this. You know what? We're bringing the religion.
Not
card
the religion,
again.
just the dress code. I mean, the people that dress like that are very less likely to be attacked.
Well,
I remember a girl doing a survey, a video on this. I think it was not TikTok, but it was a proper video. She dressed with very tight leggings and a very tight top on, and she's a beautiful girl, beautiful figure. And she walked down the street of Harlem. And as she walked down the street of Harlem, all the boys were just saying things to her, like going up to her, getting a number, and harassing her. And then she went back to the other end of the street, and then she changed herself and she covered herself, and like from top to bottom, and not one boy looked at her.
You
A
see?
few did, but the rest of them didn't bother. The same boys didn't bother with her. and she was just showing. She actually did this on video. Yeah, she did this on video, and the amount of guys that were going after her would not leave her. The cameraman had to get involved at one point to say to the guy, "Look, we're filming here. Now you need to leave because you're harassing her." He wouldn't leave her at all.
Well, that's my
But you
point.
see-
That was an experiment.
Let's hear what the lady's saying, because we're running out of time now, my dear.
Yeah, no. Again, I mean, listen. I'm still gonna go back to my point. All I'm saying is the nature of, some boys out there who choose to behave the way they do, like animals, like vultures, whatever you want to call it. We cannot justify that they're seeing these women and they're acting like that. No, that's a behavioral problem. That's a deeply rooted problem that they have, because I'm sure even if a fully covered woman walks down the street and this guy, let's say, has not seen a girl in the last 4 or 5 days, and he sees now a speech.
4 or 5 days.
Yeah,
Is that all? Is that all?
The guy was locked up.
Is that all? Just 4 or 5 days? Is
The
it that
guy-
bad? It's not that bad.
I'm
Not
talking about
5
years.
days.
I'm talking about years, mate.
4 or 5 days, yeah. No. We're talking about days, yeah. So 4 or 5 days, yeah. Now he sees this fully covered up lady, yeah. The likelihood of this guy still saying something is very high. I mean, I cover up when I leave my house, but I have been called numerous times. The guys have said something to me. Many times when guys have honked their cars at me when they're sitting in their cars driving past. So I can't apply that analogy and say, oh, okay, what was my fault in that moment? What, for being fully covered up? I can't justify why did they behave that way with me. My point is behavioral problem, and my point is we cannot justify it. Let's not justify it. Let's just say, yes, that's wrong. Yeah, this should not be happening. But at the same time, then give us your preaching for the female species.
I think what it is, the men them have to at some point, educate us. We have to educate our sons about this, and our young men as well as our daughters. It works both ways, unfortunately. It's not single-handed. We can't just blame the men
by doing
or
that,
just the women.
I think that you're looking for an excuse, you're making an excuse for men to justify their actions.
No.
That's all I'm saying is let's condemn the behavior.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, we're cool. We can establish cause and effect. That's totally fine. We can do that all day long. But I just want to say, let's condemn the behavior, because the behavior in itself is wrong on every level.
I'm not just that.
I agree with that, because the girl that got killed by the police,
Thank you.
the girl that got killed by the police, she was fully dressed.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
She was, so that means it's just the mindset, the perverted mindset of certain man them, lack of control.
It is, yeah.
But there are also women like that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not disagreeing though. We're not disagreeing with that.
Yeah, but
That's right.
right.
So we have to educate our children. Yeah.
So it's boiled down to education, but it's the world we're living in, and that's why in your environment, once your environment protects you, then you are protected. You know what I mean?
I think it's just time for everyone to just start looking out for each other. And again, we walk with people every day. We come across people and we don't even know who they are. It's like again, that same analogy. There's wolves walking alongside the herd of sheep. You wouldn't know who you're really dealing with. And I think it's scary times.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think the bottom line, like I said before, Bless, at the end of the day, we have to educate our kids and our daughters and our boys, and let's make it a safer society for everyone. So the best thing to do is talk about it, like we did today. And we should all be very open about certain things with our boys and girls.
It's boys, really, because if the man them is the problem, that means we're supposed to be instilling this in our sons while they're growing up. But that's one thing that we lack to tell them. We tell them how to be a man.
100%.
We tell them how to treat a woman, but we don't tell them a lot of your friends are perverted and won't control themselves. We don't teach them control. We don't teach them that side of it. We leave that side out for some reason. And so no matter how old you get,
for them to learn themselves,
you never...
You see, one thing comes to my mind, Bless. I once heard this from somebody, and they said a young boy once went to a wise man to ask him about his future. And the wise man said to him, bring me your friends and I'll tell you your
I'm
future.
gonna tell you your future. Yeah.
You
That's
know,
it.
and it's a deep
Mm.
thought
Yeah.
that comes out of that, because you know it really makes you think. Well, who are the people you walk with? Who are the people you support?
That's true, and I do agree with
That's
the.
true.
I do
Well,
agree with the
anyway,
lady
guys,
the one that said
far.
you who said that a woman's got a right to dress how she wants to dress. I do agree with
Absolutely.
that, but she also got to have the right to accept the consequences what comes with the way she dresses.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. So-
Anyway, the time is up, bless, and I'm gonna say one thing before we leave. As always, we have to teach each other and look after one another, and let's educate our children and our boys and our girls, and let's be honest with them. Men have to speak up, and women have to speak up and teach our daughters everything. And the boys, men like yourself, brother, let's teach the men. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right.
Because there's no other way.
Okay. Well, I thank you for. I jumped in at the end of the conversation because you lot was having a go at the man them, so I had to step in.
No,
I'm sorry,
I'm trying
any
to
time,
speak up for the
bless.
man them.
Bless, can you give us a I love you?
Okay. This is the last one. I love you.
Thank you very much.
That's the highlight.
And on that, we're going to call it a day.
I
Thank
keep-
you very much for tuning in. Bless Radio 1
Thank
on
you.
Unityify platform. Please stay tuned. We've got this guest coming in from America.
All
Thank
right.
you, Bless.
Take
Thank
care,
you so
ladies.
much.
All right, next time.
Have a good evening.
God
Take
bless.
care.
God
Bye.
bless.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So, up and coming next. Ready? Stop it.
It's the lady.
Quintessa.
Yep. She's going to be dining us now, so you put the music on. She's going to come on.
What's she going to be
Skype now.
talking about?
I don't know who her guest is. Let's see who she's bringing on today.
Well,
If you put the music on, and she can
no,
come on.
you're going to sing for us.
No.
Yeah, cool. Well,
Right.
we'll talk till she's ready. We're going to recap until she's ready.
Okay.
The women do have a valid point. Yeah, generations
do.
have changed, and the way of life has changed, especially in the Western world. And if we're going to adapt and take on some of these Western principles, then you got to take on Western consequences, because you are in Babylon. You understand? You're in a place called what they will call Sodom and Gomorrah. You're in that place, so you need to know that you can be vulnerable as a woman and even vulnerable as a man, and then and even more vulnerable as a child. You know what I'm saying? So know where you are before you leave your house. You know?
That's the worry thing, yeah.
Know where
course
you
it is.
are. You know, you mustn't be frightened. Obviously, stand your grounds. But
Yeah.
as I said, you go
That's
to a
what the-
club and a woman's got her breast hanging out. You know, some women some women are not very good looking to themselves and lack confident, so they dress a certain way to balance it
Yeah.
up. Whose fault is that now? Is it the man's fault? That's why the God says, "Lead us not into temptation," because there is temptation out there. You know what I mean? But when you tempt a man, especially a man who's by himself and desperate for a woman, or sit down and watch porn every day, and then he goes out, you don't know them. You can't know them by looking at them. You know? So women have to be more aware of what they're doing when they do go out. And if they do go out dressed like that, always be with their friends. Always be with somebody. Never be alone.
That's what I say. That's the only thing I say. Do what you like, but stay in groups and, stay together.
Yeah.
Watch each other's back and get home safely. That's my only point in the whole conversation, because I was obviously with Sarah. That's happened to Sarah, which is so heartbreaking. All she did was go walk home, and who was supposed to look after us, basically our protectors, is the guy that actually killed her.
Well, that was an abuse of power. He used his power to get what he wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
It's very sad.
where's Contessa?
She's coming on now, and we'll have to just put the music on and let her in.
No, we're not putting our music on. You're going to sing. Right. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Unityify coming to sing this song called I Love You.
No.
Yeah. You know, that's how
Oh
it
my
is.
God.
No, but that's how it is, man. I don't know, man. As I said, I listened to most of the show.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
We
talk too
spoke to
much.
her. What's her name?
What the woman
The,
here comes Quintessa. Do you wanna let her in or do I let her in?
yeah, you let her in.
She's gone again. I think you're gonna have to let her in. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
then. Let me just cut this off and I'll let her in.
Right, and I needed to talk to her about the show before she started the show, but that wasn't arranged.
Yeah, I think what you could do, maybe we could talk to her after the show then.
Okay. All right then.
So let me get her on then.
All right. Let's wait till she comes up, and then we start the thing. Yes,
Yeah.
and those who are locked on, you listen to blessradio1.com, and Unityify and her crew trying to have up the man them again. And as you know, man them, I got to represent for the man them. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
sometimes the man them is wrong, but sometimes the women them are so wrong.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with
You know
you.
what I
I say
mean?
both. But
That's
because
it.
men are more powerful and stronger, there's sometimes we have to speak to them how they can go about doing things. I think that's where men have to talk with men and acknowledge certain things, because we are part of the society. We're two people, man and woman, and what makes the society. So we need each other just as much, So, and we have to live in a certain way together. So we've got to balance things out,
It's
We've
the
got
woman them,
to.
man. It's their fault, man. Real talk.
No, it's not.
It's the woman them
No.
fault because look at the Jew man and his wife, yeah. The Jew man's got
Mm.
his wife, right? You wouldn't even know that she's a Jewish woman by the way she dressed, but you don't see her dressing up showing any of her body parts. You understand?
Mm.
She's not wrapped up like a dolly. She's wearing normal clothes, but she's not really
Mm.
revealing her flesh to everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you
Yeah.
start doing that, you're in a sense you're saying, yeah, you may feel you look good and your man, and sometimes it's the man them. Some of the man them like when their girl
You
dressed
want them
like
women
that.
to, yes.
They say, oh, why don't you wear a miniskirt? Or why don't you wear this? Or why don't? And then they do the same thing to please the man.
Yeah.
You understand? So, okay, here we go. Who is this? Quintessa. I'm going to let her in.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get all of her. Yeah, so that's how it goes, man.
Yeah. It's a very delicate situation.
It's a simple thing, but it's just the way how the world is. As I said, your environment of where we are now is accepted, But there's certain places you go, and that's not accepted. There's certain countries you go, and it's not accepted.
No, it's not. It's not.
So because it's accepted here, you feel you can do it. Do it then and see what happened to you. You know what I mean? Quintessa's group.
Has it come on?
I don't know where she is, She's here somewhere, but I don't know where she is. You'll have to find
Okay,
her.
I'm gonna have to I'm gonna cut myself off and get it back on again. Yeah.
Well, she's here somewhere. I see her a group. But
Yeah, I'll have to cut myself off and then I'll have to bring you back on again. So you put the music on then while I get her on.
Music. All right, cool.
Yes,
I'll sing a song.
Okay.
All right, cool.
I'll get you back on in a minute.
All
Okay,
right,
bye.
cool.